All right, everybody. Hope you guys are all having a good day because Bitcoin sure is. We are on the verge of a massive breakout. So what I want to do for you guys today is basically break down what needs to happen for that breakout, that next level of resistance afterwards, and maybe some of the trades you guys can be taking here because there are some news events scheduled for the next few weeks. And those, of course, are going to determine really how high we go or if we end up having a straight up reversal and going back down to like $60,000. So let's get started here. So, as you guys know already, you guys already know this probably by heart, 72,359 is the level we are supposed to be breaking right now. So far, it has been a tough nut to crack. Every time we break out, it's usually a good opportunity to buy, especially if you're looking at it from the weekly chart perspective. If you buy, it goes up. If you buy the breakout, it goes up. We want to see it break out again, hold on the weekly chart. Once that weekly chart is confirmed, you guys are going to be much more likely to buy that breakout and then wait for another rally. And the good thing I would say about this has been proven true regardless of how CPI was doing. Even though CPI got kind of rough over here in March and the data wasn't as good, we had bad CPI in January and February as well, but we had the spot ETFs helping us out. With new ETFs coming online almost every week now, and then a breakout, I think we should still be fine for trying to make that next put up all the way up here to $103,000, which would be, of course, absolutely fantastic. That's really what you guys want to see here. Now, as we look at what's going to happen over the next few hours, you can see that we've already had that breakout that we talked about last night, and we're looking at another level of resistance here. And unfortunately, that level of resistance, I mean, it's a pretty big one. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It really looks like that. It's not some dainty thing. It's going to be a whole zone. So just because we break above this and we start hovering in here, that doesn't mean we're absolutely going parabolic and everything's looking very, very good. The reason for that is, of course, the oscillators really haven't changed just yet. You guys can see that we're barely green at this point in time, but it's not confirmed. So you see the MACD is green, RSI is green, stochastic is green. They're all green, but it's not confirmed yet. Once we have that confirmation on the daily, that's when I feel more confident about, oh yeah, let's start buying up more and hoping for a nicer breakout later on. So again, for me, it's still day trading right now with those longer term trades kind of, dollar cost averaging, if you will. So far, the dollar cost average portfolio is up around $365. Again, about a month ago, we were down about 1,000 because we had to keep on buying at each and every freaking dip. But now things looking pretty good. You guys can see there's still some red in here, and I'm kind of mad about that, to be honest. I was hoping that some coins as a whole would just do a little bit better. Some things like Mana over here, that's down about 50%. I haven't done a lot of dollar cost averaging, and that's probably one of the reasons. So what I'll probably do for you guys right here is I'll probably just pop down another 50 bucks in here, and then we'll see if it drops back down, maybe just to this high point. Yeah, that's probably as best I can do. Most of these tokens are the ones that I haven't been able to dollar cost average much into. But the smaller things, like maybe a Jasmine token, well, I've been buying this since nobody wanted to buy it. Look at, when everything was boring, I was loading up on this sucker. And now look at it. It's going straight to the moon. I'm happy. I'm making a bunch of money off of it. That's exactly how you guys want to be playing these. However, because this is kind of ahead of the curve, I'm always tempted whether or not I should be scaling out of some of these plays. And I've always just kind of have the mindset for this specific portfolio, I'm just going to hold and see what happens. However, for the majority of you guys who are maybe looking at more of a spot portfolio that doesn't have a lot of leverage and you guys really want to maximize your profits, what I'm doing is kind of reckless and maybe a little extra risky. So you guys might look to scale at like 5 or 10% right now and just kind of see where it goes from there. But there are definitely some good plays happening right now. And even up here with Floki, I'm up 72% on this sucker, and it's the worst out of my meme coins here, and it's still going good. Bought when nobody wanted it, sell. I want you guys to really remember that lesson because we might only have one more of these cycles here before we reach the peak of the market. As we're looking at this, my personal opinion as somebody that does not call the market top very well is that we might get up here towards $107,000, $104,000 before we eventually peter out, and then we have to consolidate for a little bit longer. And maybe it takes we go into a bear market. I'm not entirely sure. Or we do something crazy and we have another big parabolic Bitcoin run, kind of like historical how it happens. You can almost see it like this, these really large swings that happen. If that's the case, and we do actually have one of those, maybe with lesser rates coming down, things like that, perhaps we actually get all the way up here towards $175,000. The way I would probably see it, because I don't really see us getting that high, and that's just my bad here, guys. I'm not the best at this type of stuff as far as the long-term forecasting. What I'd probably say is, hey, there's a level right up here where if you take off the log, it starts to look a little bit better, kind of around 99,000 to 122,000. that range would probably be the top, in my opinion, right here. You know, I'm hoping we go up to $1 million this cycle. I really do. But it's just been kind of like I know where you really want it to work out, but at the same time, I'm just, you know, I don't want to be holding too long and wait for everything to kind of turn over. So I think what I'm going to be looking for here is what happens between the 20-week and the 50-week moving averages. Those are usually great signals that the run is over. Really great signals. If I go back over here to longer term one, great signal, fantastic signal, fantastic signal. And, you know, on the flip side, you know, when they go up, everything's really, really good for a while. But for this cycle, keep an eye on those moving averages. I think you guys should be fine here, especially because, again, we've been dollar cost averaging for so long here that everything looks to be doing well. Even some of the stuff like Ape Token, I've just kind of stopped buying into it, and I'm assuming it'll come back up. You can see I got a pretty good average over the last few months, but you know, I just haven't been dollar cost averaging it anymore. I'm hoping it pops back up a little bit more, and I'll be happy with those results. And again, we'll have to wait and see. My number one pick, I think, for it now, as far as where I'm actually allocating money that's not like Bitcoin, Ethereum, so on, some of those like safer big dogs, is RLC. This one definitely has this lower market cap here. I bought at the middle point here. Like, again, I'm not buying at the low, I'm not buying at the high, I'm kind of at middle point. And so far, that small move there, I think, is up around 18%. But things like RLC, you know, the market cap here, oops, that's garlic corn. Oh, there we go. The market cap is 245 million. I'm hoping it can get up to like maybe $1 billion in market cap, and then maybe I can sell it off there for a really handsome profit, which will, of course, you know, be spent paying bills and all the stuff I have to do, but still, it'll be absolutely fantastic. Now, as far as news is concerned, the stock market, pretty darn quiet today. When they're putting Roaring Kitty's face on there, they're just looking for clicks, so really don't be careful about how much you actually look at this type of stuff. It's usually pretty trashy. I like the guy. That's just me. You know, and you know, Elon Musk doing some stuff, but really not too much stuff. Job openings fell again in April. I think that was the best news that we had all day, to be honest. I don't know why it's only coming out 5 minutes ago, maybe an update, but that really does help us out when it comes to the dollar index and the long-term moves that we've been talking about. We've been talking about this breakdown and how we need to break down below this level next. We talked about maybe a potential bounce. I think this was on the 4-hour chart. Yeah. Well, we have to come down a little bit more, but you see how that news this morning really just kind of moved us down pretty fast. That's still the overall goal here. If we start breaking down below this, Bitcoin goes to all-time highs. That's pretty much how I see it at this point, and we're very, very close to having that move, and I think it's pretty imminent here just because of everything coming up in the next few weeks, which is CPI data coming out on the 12th, PPI coming out on the 13th. Those should be meeting expectations, not great and grandiose, just meeting expectations, and I think that's going to be enough for Bitcoin to go up because everybody will therefore price in rate cuts starting in September, which of course I think would be a great idea at this point. Now that we actually know, you know, we're going sideways as far as inflation, not necessarily down, but sideways, and hopefully that kind of manages itself out. Now, I was looking for some news here to talk to you guys about, and there was one article, but I don't think it's still there. It disappeared on me, but let me see. It was basically talking about how more people are buying into Bitcoin, basically in the hedge fund level, the market, you know, the big money category. And I want you guys just to remember that as much as we're day trading and swing trading, have a long-term portfolio, and I think you guys are going to do just fine. Those long-term portfolios really do wonders, especially if you guys are dollar cost averaging into them. You know, when Bitcoin peaks, you can definitely just hold on to it, or you can continue buying it, you know, every week, every month for the rest of your life until you feel like, you know, okay, I can retire off of this Bitcoin now. That's probably the goal here. But for everything else, keep an eye on some of these other tokens. You know, Floki's up 8%. I know we talked about this yesterday. A lot of these meme coins we talked about yesterday, but they're all doing great. Bonk, Whiff, you know, even going over here to me the hourly chart. There we go. You can see how they've already had breakouts and they're trying to continue on those moves here. Floki, Pepe, you know, all looking for some good opportunities here. But it's not that just time, you know, some of the lower market caps, Mog, Turbo, PopCap, I'm hoping some of these will continue on just because GameStop's doing its own stuff here over the last few days. But R and DR, you know, GRT, RLC, which I was talking about, they're all making moves that can make you guys some good money here. Even Pendle, which has already had a really big rocket ship, it's still finding ways to go up here. So don't be afraid to, you know, take it slow, dollar cost average. I think you still have a little bit of time here. CPI data will definitely tell you if you have a lot of time or a little bit of time when it comes to this type of stuff. I'm hoping that when I told you guys I started dollar cost averaging back over here on the 7th of March, I think that was adequate time to get some type of average amongst a lot of tokens. Some tokens like Bitcoin, it worked out actually pretty good. It was like that was the average basically. But then you have other tokens like Ethereum, we're back over here on the 7th, the price was way up here, and you kind of had to dollar cost average and bring the average down before all of a sudden it spiked. So now at this point, you know, if you bought here, it's actually worse than just buying, you know, on that 7th day basically, or about that place, right? So take it easy. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I should see you guys a little bit later for a stream tonight, because I'm going up to Seattle for a suit fitting, which means I'm going to get there at 3 o'clock. I'm not going to leave until like 4:30, which means it takes like an hour to get back here. And I'm going to Uber like an hour to get back to my house, which is expensive. So I want to try to get back here around like a 7 o'clock stream. So it'll be a little bit later, but I think by then Bitcoin will be having some pizzazzy moments that we can have some fun with. Thanks.